everybody. So I decided I'd show you what I did to basically find my way of making my mushroom doodles come to life. The first thing I did was I realized there's no real shortcut to making my fabric gather. In order to make the mushroom look like it has those gills underneath the mushroom cap, you know, I was trying to find this crafter's lazy way out without hand stitching, but I realized the easiest way and the neatest way, and if you could see how many times I burned my arm, the safest way is to just hand stitch. I was trying to gather up the center of the circle, and then I took, well, I think it was pretty genius, but it didn't work. I took a rubber band and wrapped it around like a little bundle, and then I squeezed glue down into the center, thinking that it would hold and then I could just snip off the rubber band. Well, of course the glue was too hot and it popped the rubber band, and then I just had a hot gluey mess all over the place. And hand stitching can be kind of relaxing anyway. So you basically take a circle. I love this fabric. It's like a batik fabric, but I just wanted to show you, and you probably all know how to do this, but you just stitch, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch around the edge, and it gathers up into one of these. There's a name for these flowers. Are they called lollies? I can't remember what they're called, but you who make these flowers know. So anyway, that's all I did, and then I'm going to tie it off. And this is some really nice linen fabric. As I was saying, it was just really fun. Oh, I knotted that, but actually that's okay. I can snip it off in a minute. Using up fabrics that I wouldn't normally use. Like, I went through my stash and I'm like, this fabric's been in here forever, because I couldn't figure out how to incorporate it into a project. But when you're making these mushrooms, it's almost like fabric flowers. You can almost make any pattern work. I found that even more so with these mushrooms. So I've been just sewing up rounds of circles like this and coming up with several different flat pieces, and then I stuff them with the fiberfill, and some of them I even took a piece of cardboard without even worrying about measuring, because I just love that this project can be so free. You don't have to be perfect even with the circles, because it's representing nature, and things in nature are so organic. So let's see, which one should I work with? I'll just show you how I slide the cardboard into the center. Probably would have been better if I did this first, but it does work. I mean, you could stitch around it even with the cardboard on there. Well, actually, it wouldn't close up enough if you tried that, so it's probably better not to. But anyway, this is how I've been doing it. I just kind of shove the circle in there. If you want it to have more structure, like that. But there are some that I've done with no cardboard in there, and even no stuffing. Like this one I think has too much stuffing. That's the other thing I learned, is it doesn't take a lot of this fiberfill before it gets too puffy. And I'll explain that when I do my project share, because I did some, the first ones I did I considered a fail, but yeah, so I'm just gonna stuff just a little bit in what I consider the mushroom cap, which is this. And if you can see, I've already put a layer. This is a really nice linen fabric, and then I put a layer of cheesecloth and a hand crafted doily and a mother of pearl button and a little bit of butcher twine for a bow. And then on the other side, this is how you get what would be considered the gills. And to make the stem, this is what I did. I just took scraps of felt and hot glue, which I'm going to need another stick here in a minute. And then I rolled from the long side down if it was cut irregular, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, and then you can wrap it with burlap or fabric. And one of the fabrics that I've really been having fun with is this. What is this? It says Maison du Monde. I don't know. I guess that's French. Yeah, it's made in France. Anyway, this was a napkin, and when it tears, it makes all these really cool fraying edges. So I've been using this to wrap the stems, and again I just put hot glue, and then I find the end and stick that on. And you don't have to put a lot of glue, and it leaves a lot of the strings. I think I'll put a little more glue. I have so many glue guns, but they all look like this, just kind of beat up and ooh, really used. But I'm just gonna wrap, trying to keep the fray edge out so it shows like this. And so you can see how shabby it gets, and I love that. A little more glue. And I'll probably make this the bottom where all the fraying is, or maybe not. Oh, my phone. I'm gonna have to let it go because it's on the other edge of the... Huh? That's strange. The sound went down. Oh well, I'll grab it in a minute. Okay, so I snipped that off because I'm going to put that into this part. So now I have this really shabby stem, and you can wrap more things around it if you want. Like I found this to be a fun one to wrap around. This is one of the fibers that was tucked into that beautiful altered file folder that Pamela from Gypsy Girl Crafts, I'm going to snip some of that off, made for me. Thank you, Pamela. And I think I will put just a little bit of this on here. It'll give it just the right amount of sparkle. And then in here, let's see. So then I make, sometimes I make a double one on the other side, but this one's smaller. I won't do that on this one. What else can I put under there? Will that match? I like that. Let's do this. So I'm just gonna snip and snip and put a little bit of glue, and I think just to mimic what's going on on the stem. I'll put a little bit of this in the middle, like that. And let's see, will I like that? Yeah, oh wait, I want to do it the other way though, so that when it hangs I can see the right side of the fabric. Okay, and then I'm just going to push the stem down in there, like so, and hold on to it. And that might be all I need to do. And I like these, the muted colors, because they really remind me of mushrooms. But I'll tell you, a student of mine, I don't know if I told you this, she took a picture of a mushroom that was in her yard, and I'm not kidding you guys, I've never seen one before, so if you've seen one, it was blue, the gills, and if you touched them, the powdery residue that gave off was literally like a cobalt blue. I mean, there are just so many amazing colors in nature. I think God is the most amazing artist. So I'm just going to hold this here a second and turn it over so that you can see my whimsical, shabby little mushroom. Can you see that? Isn't that fun? Well, it's not totally stuck here. I probably need to hold it. Yeah, it's not stuck yet. Let's hold that down a little longer. But as I was saying, I got really carried away. I started making tons of these, and it is not out of my system yet, so I have more set up here to create. I think I'm going to put this other piece on the bottom. I've been doing this to kind of cover up the felt. So there is the underside, which just has all these wonderful little fibers, and it looks very mushroom-like. And then it stands up like this. Let me see if I can get a decent angle on it. Oh, my needle's stuck in there. I don't want to get poked. Okay. So can you see this one? Let's see. I don't know. I see if I can find a slightly better angle for this. Anyway, I think the way I want to display most of these is on their side anyway, because I think it'll be really fun to see the underside as well as the tops. So there is one crafted for you. Let's see, so there's another one I've been playing with because I haven't really figured out exactly how I want to do this one. But I love this piece of linen fabric, and when I use the burlap or the linen, I've been putting a circle of felt underneath, especially with the burlap ones, because you can see the glue through it. But I want to use that circle one with, let's see if I have some pretty lace over here. I was hoping to have some pink lace. Let's see if this will work. I don't know if this will go all the way around. Not quite. I can make the circle smaller and then it'll work. You gotta improvise. So I'm just gonna cut this a little bit smaller. And then I'll glue this down. Oops. And that way it I just want it to peek out a little bit. Some of the ones I was experimenting with, if I made the lace too prominent on the piece, it started looking like a slumber cap that you'd wear to bed. And that wasn't what I was going for. So now I'm going to mount the pink piece over the top of this, and that should work. Yep, I like that. And I also like how that felt underneath gave it a little bit of lift. And then I'll probably find another trim or something small to go there. So I'm going to keep working on ideas for this one. So it's a little uneven, but again, perfect doesn't really matter when you're trying to emulate something from nature. And I'd like to find something pretty to go there. I do have this, it's a little big, but I'll work on that one. So I go back and forth, just kind of putzing, because you know, there's no right or wrong way to create these. Like, let's try this with, let's see, what do we want to try with this? Oh, I think I like the idea of, let's see, this with this, and where'd my little crocheted, I had a little yellow crocheted daisy somewhere. There it is. So let's see, it's kind of pretty. I don't think that's exactly what I had in mind. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't really know. I'm gonna just sit here and play for a little while and come back, and I'll show you all of my projects that I've made. Oh, well, I'll call it all my mushroom, my field of mushrooms. Where do mushrooms grow? They call it foraging for mushrooms. Do they grow in a bog? Do they grow? I'm not sure where they grow. Well, they grow in the forest, I know that much. So anyway, thanks for helping me find my way as I craft and create. And I'll finish a couple of these and show them in my project share. I hope you'll come back for it, because I have tons and I just went crazy with my imagination. So I hope you find them fun. I'll be back soon.